What's going on?
How are you doing?
I'm good.
Ah,
How's day one of your seminar?
no, it's tomorrow, my time, like Saturday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I just came in like on Thursday because my parents wanted to take the chance to just like travel for the sake of it. But I'm staying
Nice.
with my friends and they like just running their own routine. So I
So
mean,
did
I'll just do
you
what I do, like, just train and I just catch up and chill with my friend.
Awesome. So is
Yeah.
that your client that you're there with too? So did you get to train with your client?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's a fun
No,
little
it's nice, because like we're from different countries, and if I happen to be going to a country that I have clients in, I would love to take the chance to meet them
yeah.
if I as much as I can.
I know I want to plan a trip to like he doesn't know it yet. I'd love to go plan a trip to like train with Justin or something like that. Maybe get the girls on board too, I think would be fun. So
Yeah, I mean, I guess like it's easy for you to arrange with Haley.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Simone.
Hi, let me just stop that. How are you?
Good, how are you? I was
I'm
I
good.
was so worried we didn't get the times right, so I'm so glad that I didn't fail that.
No, I try to
Hello.
do it from.
I think
Ah,
if you isn't there a way she like there we go. And then I think like if you lock
mm,
it,
give me 2 seconds. Let's do this. Apparently, I'm
I've never
technologically.
had to do it, so I might not be overly helpful, but
What are we talking about?
locking
I
the
just got in.
Oh,
It just started.
I'm not the girl to ask about tech stuff. I'm not very.
aren't you on a phone? You do it on your phone, don't you?
Me, yes.
How did
I'm
you
on my
get your
phone.
screen to lock?
Oh, I just have it sitting.
I think sometimes maybe you just have to unlock the
I
screen
think
replacement
it's.
feature.
I think when you when you just want to check your phone real quick and you swipe it and it has all your notifications on there. I think when you swipe down, it should give you the option with a little circle with a little lock sign, and you click on that.
Yeah.
I've tried that. It's not working.
That's okay. We can see it, we can hear you, that works.
I tried.
So
It's okay.
we have Simone. It's Simonne Paarman, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
I was gonna say maybe. Okay, perfect. Now you're good. Would you like to do a little like mini intro of yourself? You're gearing up for a regional show and then a pro qualifier later in the year. Is that correct?
Yeah, so I'm currently in prep. I'm doing the show in October. And then I think it's about 9 weeks after that, then it's the pro qualifier. Yeah.
Awesome. And how long have you been working with Justin for?
I think it's about since February, so
Okay.
not too long. I was with a previous coach, and then I decided it wasn't. It was great, but there were some aspects that I wasn't sort of enjoying, and it didn't really like click with them. And then moved to him, and then did like a 12-week sort of mini off season, and then started prep. So all quite new, but really enjoying it so far.
Awesome. And how many did you do a show or anything last year? Or will this be your first run at a pro qualifier?
I've done pro qualifiers in the past, but I mean, having done this now for longer and looking back, I had no business doing them.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, I think this will be my third one. Um, but yeah, like I said, I definitely shouldn't have done the previous ones.
I think we all have
We've all
shows
felt
where
that.
we all have shows that we look at like, that was a choice. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's all a part of it though, because it's like I don't know. I know I shouldn't have been in figure for my first class, but it's at the same time, it's also kind of what like made me realize like, oh, I do like this, you know. And I think some people like wait to be perfect and then might realize they don't even like to diet. So at least we figured out we like it.
Yeah. Otherwise, I don't think we'd be doing it.
Now, where do you live?
So I'm in Johannesburg in South Africa.
Okay, so what's
Um,
the show scene like there? Do you have to travel pretty far for regionals and pro qualifiers, or do you have a lot going on there?
So luckily, okay, I'm originally from Port Elizabeth, so that's it's a city, but I mean, it's really tiny. It's a little town.
Okay.
So there you have to travel because most of the pro qualifiers and the regionals are actually they're either in Cape Town, Joburg, or Durban. So we didn't have anything down there. But being in Joburg, it's kind of more like the sort of like hub for bodybuilding, if you can put it like that. So, I mean, my regional show will be 20 minutes away from where I live, and
Okay.
then the pro qualifier is also going to be there. I think the one year they moved the show to Cape Town, the pro qualifier, but traveling there from say Joburg and Durban, it's quite pricey. And like I said just now, the Joburg is more the hub, so there's a bigger following here. Um, so yeah, so luckily because I'm here, it's not too bad. Um,
Mhm.
but like show availability, it's dropped quite a bit. Um, Last year, I think I can't remember now, but there was about four-ish, maybe five regionals. Now this year, it was just the one in May, then October, and then the one in December.
Okay.
So yeah, the show numbers they're quite. It's the lineups are quite small. So I think they've just condensed the shows to try sort of push everyone into the show and like bring the numbers up.
Well,
Are these mainly like just figure? Or are you talking about like across the board, across all divisions, the lineup isn't huge?
Um, okay, obviously figure. Um,
Yeah.
it's growing, but it's still quite small. Bikini, I mean, there's always lots of bikini goals.
Yeah.
Um, Wellness also is growing, but I mean, at the last regional show, I think it was quite early for South Africans because, like I said, it was in May, and the show was done in about let's say 2 hours, and that was with a break between um, like the main show and then the awards. So it was pretty small.
wow. I kind of like that they condensed it into fewer because out here in Scottsdale, Phoenix area, like we have so many regional shows. Like I know we've got at least six. I don't know an exact number.
Mm.
I think it kind of, like you mentioned, I think it kind of waters it down a little bit because you're always going to get like these bikini and men's physique competitors like out the door. But then when it comes to figure, like you're lucky if you've got one or two other people to stand next to. So I almost wish they would take that same direction that you went and condense it and just see if you can get a little better turnout spread across like four shows as opposed
Yeah.
to one every other month, you know. What's it like for you guys, Haley and Tanya?
We just
What
have
do you
like
think?
two.
Really?
We do. We just have two. And to be honest, it doesn't do much for like the bigger girl categories.
Yeah.
Like I remember at my regional was the one 3 or 4 weeks before nationals. It There was so few of us that they had one check-in person doing each category on a table. And we were all I just stood in line and there was a girl that walked by and said, hey, anybody who's in like women's physique and up, like go ahead and just cut the line because we don't have anybody that we're checking in at this point. So
Wow.
I just cut the whole line, walked up there and checked in and then
Wait,
I went home.
I
So
love when they do that. You're at the sign-ins and check-ins, and they're calling all the people to go stand over, and you're just like, "Please, just like get us out of the way before bikini, please."
better yet, they even weighed me for the for women's bodybuilding. And it was because they had to like scoot all the boys over and like she needs to get on the scale and they all looked at me like, what's she doing? It's like, buddy, trust me, I don't think I should be doing it either.
I think like across the board, in the USA and Europe has the most number of regional shows and
Mhm.
national shows. I know in the USA you girls call it the national show for NPC worldwide. So where Simone and myself are at, it's all like anything outside the USA is just NPC worldwide. So
Okay.
that's yeah.
Okay.
So most of the time then we will refer it to as the pro qualifier. Simone is lucky, like at least your regional show is just like 20 minutes from you. I have
Yeah.
not done a single show that's literally in my home country because we don't even have regional shows here.
Really? Wow.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah, but
wild
for
though.
but for me to get a regional show done, so what Southeast Asia does, and because Asia is huge, so it's not just talking about the Southeast Asia, and then You have
Yeah,
those
that was
further up
good.
north, like Korea, Japan, China. These are bigger countries with a greater turnout. So you will see quite a number of more regional shows and pro qualifiers, but we are not allowed to do their regional shows because it's just for them. If I hold Singapore passport, sorry, then I will have to just stay at Southeast Asia region. So for me to get my regional done, we have seven countries in total that we can do our regional show. That's like Philippines, I think Cambodia, Indonesia, Thailand, and I think like there's like three others. Yeah, Malaysia, which is just next door where I'm at. So
Okay.
you just drive through. But in for most of us, like at least if you're from Singapore, like it's always going to be travel, even for like a regional show.
Oops, can you
Yeah,
still hear us, Simone?
Uh-oh, I didn't realize we went dark.
lock back.
Wow, that's interesting though. In some ways, it's kind of like, I mean, at least it like prepares you because we're all going to have to travel for a
Yeah,
national show anyway.
so
But
I
it's,
would say like in terms of because I've always had to do international shows like but that's why I always tell people from the States like where you go, sorry, I think you have to do it once in your life, do a show in another country and just
yeah,
experience it. Because if you're good preparing for an international show, you will be super prepared everywhere else. Like finding when I did my first, I think all my shows, like I had to fly in maybe like a week before, um, minimally. Sometimes I like to go in a little bit earlier if I can, and I would just like freeze all my food like 10 days in advance for like full 10 days.
yeah. Because
This is really good. If I can give like a good tip for like all the international competitors, or even for girls like yourself, if the country allows you to bring frozen food in, get the hotel to actually no message the hotel and the accommodation that you are staying in because not every country does Airbnb. So because all the hotels I stayed there, they were very nice. Like I was allowed to use their kitchen giant freezer to just put
wow,
That's
ten
really
days worth
nice.
of food. Yeah, I will do that. Yeah,
we
yeah.
kind of lucked out with our, well, maybe not lucked out. I don't know how common this is because I don't travel that much, but like Haley and I for Texas Nationals in December, like that was basically like a studio apartment because it had like a full
Mhm.
size refrigerator, a full size stove, and everything. And like that was one of the things that I was kind of like, I need to get out there super early because I don't want to stress about like doing the grocery shopping, cooking the food once I get there. And that was like, I landed Monday afternoon, so then I was able to just like get all those little errands done before it was like time that I needed to start, relaxing and chilling out, walking around less. So that was kind of like a lifesaver, that little studio we got.
No, and it was close to the venue, which is where you
Yeah,
get the tan at. Because all that
yeah.
stuff goes by so fast. It doesn't matter how much time you think you don't have time.
Mhm, mhm. Yeah, and I don't know what the host hotel was like. I don't know anyone who stayed there, but
I
Soka
don't
Suite,
either.
Soka Suites in Dallas, if anyone's going to nationals.
Usually, when you travel to show venues, you would usually have to find like a cheaper accommodation prior to the days before. I would just move in maybe like the day or 2 days before because the host hotels that most shows always pick are always like the fee.
Not good, yeah.
Right, yeah,
Sometimes they run a little deal for
Yeah.
competitors. It just depends on the host hotel, but I don't have a lot of experience in that area, so don't take it from me. But usually I've seen all the things that there's little deals for if you want. I think the one in my regional had a little deal because it was at a casino hotel situation. So they were running some sort of deal. It may not have been good though.
right.
So then, next question, Simone. I'm interested, like, you mentioned Johannesburg is more of like the bodybuilding hub. Do you still have like, do you feel like a pretty good sense of community? Like, are there a lot of like figure girls out there, or even just like bodybuilders in general, or is it kind of just you?
No, look, the numbers,
Oh,
they've dropped off in the last couple of years. Um, but like with the figure goals, for example, there's quite a nice little community.
Okay.
There's not many of us, so we're all on a WhatsApp group together. So when a new figure girl comes in, she'll join the group. Everybody like welcomes her and things like that.
That's so
So
cool.
that's quite nice. But I also think like with the figure girls, we're all a little bit older. So I think that also makes a bit of a difference. Um, there's none of that like cattiness or whatever. So that's quite nice. And then obviously like the smaller goals, there's like hundreds of the bikini goals, like I said, and the wellness goals coming up, but I don't really like speak to them all that much. One or two here and there, but
Yeah,
not too much.
I feel
I
like
think
that's
as
kind
far as, sorry, Jess.
Sorry.
Sorry to cut you off.
of.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I mean, I was just gonna bring up like supplements in general because and Simone, I think you might be familiar with this figure pro. Like I think her name is Yula. You know
Yeah,
her?
you
Yeah, no, I
guys did
consulted
your
with her.
show together.
Yeah, I did a show with her like last year for my pro debut. Yeah, so I mean, she was sharing with me that I think like in terms of supplements, like health supplements or like performance supplements like whey protein, etc. It's usually locally done, like local brands that you girls tap in.
Yeah, so it's quite cool. They've actually, her and her husband have actually started their own supplement
Yeah,
company. Um, but yeah, so we've got, so my partner and I, we own two supplement stores, and we deal with independent brands. So it'll be like TNT, V Pharma, Sierra, and it's all things like you won't get in Discount, which is like a chain store. They all stock USN and things like that. But in terms of quality, the independent brands are a lot better. But yeah, it's all local. Like you can obviously get like optimum nutrition and things like that, but if you look at the price of it, I think a tub now is probably about 2,000 Rand, probably more than that. And that's a hell of a lot for a tub of protein. And I mean,
Hmm.
most people,
yeah.
like when you set diets up, you're probably looking at going through more than one tub a month, and that's 4K just on protein powder, which your average South
Not worth
African
it.
is not going to be able to pay for.
What's the currency conversion from like South African dollar to USD? I mean, sorry.
I think it's about 18, 19 Rand to the dollar.
Okay, so just divide by 20. Um, thereabout. Is it? Yeah.
And my maths is shocking.
Well,
Yeah.
It's like,
It's
oh,
okay. We're
I'm
almost
not gonna,
looking.
because I'm more here.
gonna
no,
get my
okay. Now that
calculator.
I'm converting it, that's still more than $100 for a tub of whey protein.
Yeah,
Wow.
which is like
Yeah.
Yeah.
depending obviously what here in the US, but I would say on average it's maybe 50, $60 for like a
For a good quality.
normal five
Yeah.
pound tub of protein, three to
Yeah.
five
So
pound
I
tub.
know with Singapore to the US, it's 1 to 1 is to 1.3. So I know here I'm getting like Evogen at $75. No, yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
Okay,
for
maybe we
Singapore
should
dollars.
be grateful, Jess.
I was gonna say, I was like, if that were me, I would just be like, you know what? I'm actually okay with chicken after
We're
all.
eating chicken breast.
And have like maybe
Honestly.
one scoop a week as like a little sweet treat.
It's a little treat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
I
is,
bet
it
you a
is
sponsorship would go far for you guys. Oh, you
Is
guys,
it like that with like pre-workouts and like is there anything else that you like see us have over here that is just like not even worth the cost?
Your vitamins are so much cheaper.
Yeah.
So, like Keegan and Mel, for example, their coach had them on quite a high dose of citrus bergamot and astragalus.
yeah.
If you get it here, for example, like Keegan said, he would need the amount that he would need. He probably need to pay just 2,000 alone just on the bergamot. And
It's a
when you
hundred
check in,
bucks.
yeah.
Sorry, it's $100.
ma'am, I can
So
get GH for that price. Who
yeah,
needs the
so
bergamot?
no, exactly. Well, that was what he
Ooh,
said. It's like, does he want GH or does he want bergamot? It's like, we're gonna get the GH.
I was gonna
Yeah,
say
yeah,
So
that's kind of like that's kind of scary because I can imagine a lot of people are just like what I said with the protein, like, oh, maybe I don't want to be healthy after all.
yeah.
Which it's not funny because like, those supplements, especially for us, like they're pretty easy to get your hands on and some of them
Oh,
are,
yeah.
don't get me wrong, some of them are definitely like fairly expensive, like the more elaborate health supplements that you'll buy from like Morphogen or Raw or whatever. But there's
Yeah.
there's also plenty where I just buy like the raw ingredients off Amazon, and its track list might be like, I can't remember the last time I got it, but $20 or something like that for a little 30-day. So that's like wild. Wow.
I think it's the import fee. If you're
Yeah.
buying from certain brands from the US, then they're gonna charge like the rest of the world a little bit more expensive. It's the same over here as well. Like it's a little bit priced a little bit higher.
Yeah.
Singapore is still alright because it's no choice that we have to rely on international to to get our supplements. But in general, because the currency it doesn't differ too much, so it's still okay. But for my friends in like maybe Australia, which is everybody is further up north, right? Like okay, I know Africa is like one whole continent, and then like the US, I know there's South America and North America, but in general, most of us are further up north. If you look at the geographical map,
Oh.
Singapore is at the equator, but New Zealand and Australia are like right south of
Okay.
the earth. So like I know for Australian, like my boyfriend is everything is just locally produced. But sometimes when it's locally produced, it's quite impressive, like the quality, because everything is dosed perfectly. I don't know, like Simone, like how's the dosing of the pre-workouts and everything? Like, would you say that it's accurately done, or it's either supplement brands cheapen out if it's locally produced, or it's perfect, from what I realized.
So, for example, like I said just now with this chem and things like that, theirs is quite underdosed. But with the independent brands that we stock, they maintain a high level and they maintain that standard. So,
Yeah,
there it's pretty good. But
but
yeah,
I
if
guess
you're
being a
getting,
retailer, you can pick and choose.
sorry,
As a retailer, you get to pick and choose your brands.
yeah. So, we'll only keep good quality products, and we did obviously try. Well, we tried pretty much everything on our shelves to make sure, like, okay, this is good. We don't want to sell people crappy products and then just take the money for it. That's not what we want to do. So, yeah, we've pretty much tried all of it.
What do you think
Awesome.
is like the hardest part about like being like a retailer for South Africa? Because I know it's also subjected to a lot of like um countries regulations and rules with like this kind of stuff.
Um, so we're actually part of a franchise. So they pretty much did all of the legwork with that, and then we just bought into it. Um, but we haven't had any issues thus far.
Okay.
So
And then, like, last thing, so I feel like I am absolutely spoiled for choice. And I've said this to myself like all the time, living in Scottsdale, like, if I have to drive more than 15, maybe 20 minutes max for a gym, I'm just not going to because, like, there's like literally five that I could choose from that are good within like a 15-mile radius. So, like, everything is very accessible to me. Like even as far as like good bodywork people, like I have so much choice all within like, you know, my backyard basically. So like how is everyone's like accessibility to like good bodywork people, good gyms and like that sort of thing? Anyone?
Let's go first.
Oh, mine's easy.
Yeah.
Mine's easy. I can't complain.
You know, it's crazy. Every time you post pictures at what's your gym called?
Flex.
It's like I see your
It's
posting
incredible.
and then I'm like, how many people live in it's Kansas City, right? Is it right in the
yeah,
city? I'm like, how many people live in Kansas City that I don't even realize live there? Because like I'll just be scrolling through my Instagram and I'm like, there's Haley's gym again. Like, what the hell? You have so many.
It's yes, which ironically for the women's stuff, because I would just go back to that. Not a whole lot. I would say any of the pro women's in Kansas City or even like surrounding areas on both sides, because there's Kansas City, Missouri, and Kansas City, Kansas.
Okay.
They all pretty much train at Flex. There's a few other little small gyms, but people, if you don't live close to one of those, you're not training there.
Yeah.
You'll train at Flex.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. I always appreciate like a good I think a lot of times like more than the gym itself is just kind of like the culture and the community you can kind of build is so much more important because I think at this point in our careers like we know enough that we know like we don't necessarily need all of the fancy like sought after
Not that
equipment.
I want them.
We want them. We want
I
them.
love it.
Yeah, I
I
know.
could do with just a barbell and dumbbells, but
But yeah, if the
It would be
culture
nice.
was better elsewhere that maybe didn't have quite the equipment, I would probably lean towards the culture.
Yeah.
absolutely. I'll work out in a hot shed
Yeah.
at this point.
Yeah.
As long as it's got what you need and it's the atmosphere feels right, like that's huge to me.
Yeah.
It sounds
Same.
very princessy though.
That's what I just did. Like over here in Malaysia with my client, she took me to like an open air gym. It's like a hot shed.
Oh,
It's so hot and humid. I was like,
The pump is killer though.
that's
it's great,
As long as
yes.
you have enough like of your electrolytes and your sodium and all that stuff,
Yeah, yeah,
you
and to
look
make sure I'm
great.
confident on that. I think the good thing about being in like countries like I mean I don't know how the weather is at right now. I mean I guess
It's hot.
both of you are different. Well, I mean Singapore is like 99% humidity, 90% humidity.
oh
Yeah,
no.
that's you beat
Yeah,
me.
and it's easily I don't know what it is in Fahrenheit. I know you girls go by Fahrenheit, but here it's like easily 35 degrees Celsius. You could easily like it's like almost like 90 easily, I guess.
I think that's about
Yeah,
right. I think it's
it's
almost a
easily
double.
so bad. Yeah. So I mean here at least with countries near the equator we get like a lot of mosquitoes. So when you say like I would work out in a hot shed, girl, I just came out of my workout with a bag and now it's like
Mhm.
I feel like I just donated some GH to the mosquitoes, you know. Oh, like, shit.
They just repel naturally. They don't need
Although
anything.
during COVID, when we were like everything was shut down, I found one like this is Phoenix, Arizona. I found like one in the middle of summer, a gym that was outside. So I would that's how when I got in the habit of training at like 4 a.m. just because like when the sun came up and it's like 110 degrees, like I was not going to train outside, right? But you know what? Like the gym was fairly basic. Like it had like good machines, but not a ton. It was pretty small and it was a lot of just back to the basics, sweating our balls off every morning because even in the morning before the sun comes up, like it's at least 90. But you know what? In like a sadistic way, it was great because I think it kind of like,
Builds character.
you know, it built a little bit of character. Yeah.
Builds character.
Yeah, it's like, you know what? I do really want to do this because I'm going to stick it out and I'm going to make it through this stupid COVID bullshit. And then soon gyms will be open and it'll be worth it. So
Yeah.
it was fun and it's
God,
fun.
it was like smuggling crack just to find a gym local to me in like suburbia Kansas.
Yeah.
Hey, but you
You
girls
really
were in lockdown for a long time. When you come to Asia, you will know what is considered like lockdown, lockdown. Like they are strict. They were
Oh yeah,
strict.
no, it was way worse for you guys.
Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah. Yeah, like they really kept
Awful.
us like all in.
I can't believe we did that.
I know.
Looking back
It's
on that,
crazy.
it's
Right? Yeah.
crazy to think about.
What
And
about
obviously
you?
it started with more the Asian countries, so
Yeah.
that was so scary. I'm so glad we don't gotta do that
I know.
anymore. It makes everything else look so much better. It so really is like comparison here.
Yeah.
Looking back on that, I'm just like, I can go to the gym at my normal time with some air conditioning. I have all my sub, like everything is fine.
Mm-hmm.
Never, nothing compares to that time period.
Mm-hmm.
Awful.
What about for you, Simone?
COVID or my gyms?
Both. I know.
We don't have any sort of like bodybuilding gyms. Everything's really commercial. So like 2 minutes down the road, literally 2 minutes, is a Virgin Active, and then 20 minutes is a Planet Fitness. That Planet's really good in terms of equipment, but it's very commercial. Like you're talking about the atmosphere and the vibe and things like that. It's we don't have that here.
Yeah.
So
Sorry.
yeah, that's shitty. But I mean, you create it yourself, but it would be nice to sort of have that like bodybuilding gym, you know,
Yeah.
where you've got those people that are all like-minded and they're actually going there to train really hard, and then you sort of like feed off of everybody else.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, because these are so commercial. It's like, I mean, in a bad way, but it's like a family gym. They come there, they're socializing, talking some shit. Um, so, yeah, it's a bit sort of frustrating because obviously, like we watch like YouTube channels and all of that, and we see the community that's like abroad. It's like, oh, we really, really want that.
And
Don't
I
let
can
it fool you
completely
because I do think like when it boils down to it, like, you know, it's I think it's easy for some of these guys to like schedule it to like link up together. But I know like for me, there's a lot of pros that live around here, but we're not necessarily all like training in the same gym at the same time. Like normally there might be one other figure pro if I go to a certain gym. Out here, it's become so popular that it's almost like everywhere you go that becomes like cool. It's like eventually all the kids like follow you to that area. So that's one thing that I like have to remind myself is like I don't own the gym. Like I still have to share with all the kids that are like trying to be.
Gotta share my toys.
Yeah, just keep your headphones on, keep your eyes to yourself, hands in the vehicle, like but
But I think honestly, but at least you get the bodybuilding space because it's the same. Like Singapore is the exact same situation as South Africa. Most gyms are completely like commercial. So
yeah,
like we already stuck with the commercial gym, and then Simone and I are not just stuck with the kids whose parents now can afford gym memberships. But like yeah, and then like then we get the general population of people as well. I think Simone can 100% relate to this.
yeah.
100%, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
I trained in commercial all the time. Honestly, Planet Fitness was the bee's knees during COVID. They were the last ones open, so I trained there for a few weeks.
That kind of
I loved
surprises
it.
me. I would have thought they would be like quick to just because like it's publicly owned or whatever. I would have thought they would have been quick to like fold to the government
No,
orders or whatever. Yes,
they were the last ones for us.
good for them.
Then after that, we were just bouncing from people's garages. And it
Yeah,
was like doing a drug order. It was like, hey, you can come over at this time from this hour, but don't tell anybody you're going to be here. And then
yeah,
when you leave, make sure you sneak out the back door so no one sees.
yeah. There was like I remember there was one other gym that I
Uh,
went to first, and it was kind of like I don't want to tell anybody that it's open because like the more people that find
yeah,
out, like I don't want them to shut down, and we would have to like park around the back and like come in the
hmm
back
Yeah.
garage
isn't
door.
it suspicious?
It's like pilgrimage, like
Yeah,
walk there on foot so nobody can follow you. It was awful. It was so weird
weird, weird.
looking back on it.
Yeah, I remember the first like 2 weeks too. I was just like, "Oh, I'll just get some bands because gyms will be open before you know it." So I was like doing the little band stuff.
Oh, I did that too. I bought a little 300-pound weight set from like Dick's Sporting Goods,
Yeah.
which I just sold recently. But I was like, that'll do. I think I lost honestly quite a bit of muscle during that time period, if I'm being
Yeah.
completely honest.
Fortunately, I don't think I had enough muscle to lose anything at that point in
I
time.
didn't have much. I didn't have much. But whatever I did have, we started from scratch after that.
Yeah.
It was bad. It's like it's a fever dream thinking about, quite
Yeah,
frankly.
and it's so weird because something like triggered the memory the other day. Maybe it was my archive or something, but I was like, God, what weird, wild times. So weird. But
Yeah, nothing compares. We can do that. We can do this now.
yeah. Shall we look at some Mr. Big?
I would love to.
Yes, please.
All right,
Miss Wolf.
you know how I am. Keep talking since I can't figure out how to do
I
both
know,
things.
sorry, we'll fill in the blank space here. But
Well, this
let's
was
see.
a fantastic lineup. Portugal was a really good lineup.
I do agree.
Right. So I do like that. I do agree with the judging from at least the top six.
Yes, I
Yeah,
do
it was
too.
very clear to me.
Spectacular judging. Good judging. I need to
It
zoom
was
in
a
just a
huge
little.
lineup.
Mm-hmm.
See, it's something that me and Simone never actually really see, even in our pro qualifiers, because like even in Southeast Asia, trust me, to find like a very wide figure lineup, the biggest is probably like maybe like Japan and Korea, maybe China now as well, where you see like maybe like 10, sometimes maybe 15, but it's rare. Probably like 10 girls.
You said
Yeah,
your
we
pro
didn't even.
qualifiers, though, right?
Yeah, and that's pro
Okay.
qualifiers alone because regionals it's easy to just only have like two, three, four people,
hmm
and it's just one class.
I
Yeah.
mean, at our last pro qualifier, I think we maybe had about 7 figure goals in total. So it was just enough for someone to get a pro card.
Okay.
Wow.
Have mercy.
Yeah.
Because that's how it was to even just to qualify. Like you have to at least have 2 in the class, I want to say.
We were told we have to have 5
Five.
in the, oh yeah, 5 in total.
And the
Yeah,
rules
I
is
want to say that's kind of how some of these regionals are here too. So you like barely get that qualification to go, and it's at that point you start freaking out thinking if you should go because there are 5 of you.
So do they just throw you all in the same class in that situation, or do they just do like fewer height classes?
they do
Um,
they merge the classes for mine.
Okay.
yeah.
They do that kind of over here too, depending. I guess it kind of depends on the judges too. I think they're the ones who make the call if they should be combining classes or not.
Okay.
Simone, is the judging panel the same across the board for South Africa, or is it, different head judges, different panels?
I think for the most part it's the same across the board. Maybe 1 or 2 here and there might change. So I think in Cape Town, one judge might be different to what will be here in Joburg. And then obviously with the pro qualifier, they'll have the international judges.
I know the Arnold Classic used to be big, South Africa. They used to have
Sorry?
the Arnold Classic. Was the Arnold Classic in South Africa? I knew they used to have one Arnold Classic in South Africa. Was it?
Um, they do, but the like official Arnold Classic isn't here anymore. So they changed it. I think it was last year they changed it from the Arnold's to the San Antonio Cup. That it's not an NPC show; it's the IFBB Elite Pro.
Okay,
So
yes, it's the
yeah,
federation.
yes, it's the other federation.
What I really do like though is that this year's Masters Olympia, they're bringing it to Asia. So I think it gives everyone a chance to just travel out and just experience something different for the most part. But I wonder what it's like, like if, when we watch the Olympics, for example, or, different kind of world games, that the venue of the main game of the year, it's always in a different country. I wonder what if, um, they did that for the Olympia one day. And I think the easiest one to do would be Dubai because everyone easily can be granted visa.
Mm-hmm.
I wish they would do that, to be honest, because like with the visa issues, it stops so many brilliant athletes from getting into America.
Yes, yeah.
So
Mhm.
I agree.
Yes. Sorry, guys.
That's okay. I was listening. I've also been looking. That's why sometimes I've been like zoning out looking this way.
Okay, yeah. So this was like a fantastic lineup. Denise, congratulations if you are watching this. Denise first place again. She is like the Lena of 2025 because Lena, if you ask me, was the star of 2024 season with 4 back-to-back Pro Show wins, and
Mhm.
Denise seems to be on the roll this year. Um, I can just give like my own personal general opinion on where the placings went. So Denise, out of everyone here, arguably probably the most streamlined. Just my own 2 cents. People can disagree. I mean, we're just here to give opinions at the end of the day. But from the front, deepest lines and the most proportions in terms of the prettiest muscle bellies from the front, I would still have Adela from the front. Um, just obviously with what hurt Adela fourth place from behind, like we talked about in our own group chat. When we see like the back shots, is probably her just needing a little bit more back density because she is lean, but just to get a little bit more detail from just top to bottom to match, that is what you want. What differentiates Denise from Christina for me is also just the overall flow. They don't have that kind of quads that streamline kind of where the muscle belly peaks, like where like Adela and I think Vanessa also has the pretty shaped quads. Not
Mhm.
saying that Denise and Christina do not, just in general. But I can see why Denise and Christina takes first and second because they are very matched in terms of the detail from top to bottom, not just front to back.
Mhm.
And Denise is out of everybody here. She has very clear lines. Something not as commonly seen in the shoulders, and at the same time, it doesn't look too much for figure.
I know. I'm just now realizing too her striations from her front shot
Right?
for
Yeah.
Denise. And now I second guess, and I was like, have I seen that? You don't really don't see it that often, honestly, in figure. Because even Teresa, huge shoulders, but you don't see a lot of that type of conditioning,
Mm-hmm.
even though
Yeah.
she's
And
massive.
I know with muscle detail, it's a kind of combination of training styles, especially with small muscle groups. But like I think you mentioned before, being conditioned is one thing, and being conditioned with detail, it's another thing. It's a combination of both the training style and the genetics. So great, nice shoulders, Denise.
Yeah.
I'd like borrow 'em.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
probably wouldn't give him back though. So
Yeah.
stealing.
They're mine now.
No take backsies.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have anything to add to that, Tanya. I think you summarized everything that I had to say just perfectly. Anybody else?
I was just gonna word vomit basically what we said in our group chat,
Yeah,
where I understand the placings too. There's a different look. I would say Christina's more bubbly, but it doesn't mean that Denise isn't. She just is more of a streamlined look.
yeah,
It's more figure, which
Mm-hmm.
is why I brought up, which I think is just fun to note, the Sydney Gillian, since I consider her still the template until we have the Mr. Olympia at the end of the year,
Mm-hmm.
or I guess not even at the end of the year, but I digress. That she's kind of the template, and Denise is still more towards that because Sydney is kind of a happy medium between a more streamlined look and a bubbly look.
yeah.
So I
Just
think
I think
Denise
like
fits that the best.
will be that their the tie-ins and the muscle bellies just insert its it's the flow at the end of the day. And I know with figure from what I've noticed in terms of like the judging this year, the template look for figure is not just what Justin your Justin mentioned. It's a very wasp kind of look, and the
Mhm.
girls all look like there's this like super action figure
Mm-hmm.
kind of vibe.
It is. And obviously, Denise is really pretty too, so it helps. She just
Yeah,
Yeah.
looks, she's pretty to look at.
Everything is just like perfection. Like I think her nickname is like the sculpture, and it's like, yeah,
Mhm.
that's fitting. It's fitting.
Yeah.
she
And
can
I
rock
think
that.
this is interesting. I just wanted to do a comparison because like Christina was seventh at Empro, and I remember being like, how is she seventh? Like I don't understand. And I wasn't sure if her quads were just a bit too big, and it does look like she was kind of able to streamline her front shot a touch. It could just be the angle, but
It could be. I
or
was looking at her feet to see if there's a posing change, but it looks like
yep,
it's the same pose.
yeah,
She's
yeah,
tighter through the back though,
yeah,
which
definitely.
maybe I wonder what her weight difference is between these. But I would guess it's probably a good little chunk, probably three ish.
Yeah, what I find very interesting with like her shape is like the insertions of her muscle bellies are all very short.
Mm-hmm.
It's cute.
Yeah, well,
That's
and I
quite
mean,
like.
it's kind of like she's so tiny that it's almost like she can be hard to compare because I don't think
Yeah.
Denise is very tall. And do you remember there was one Olympia? It was Sebum and Terrence, and
Yes.
there's such a size
Vastly different.
discrepancy. Like it literally looks like it's been photoshopped and just like Terrence was just scaled down. And Christina next to like Denise gives me that same impression because she's still
Yeah.
like this perfect little like figurine just scaled down, you know?
I feel that way about the what was that one girl we watched that mm, she was the one that she was a little red
Oh,
caps, the little cinder block girl.
Toronto, the
Hmm.
women's physique girl in Toronto. Yeah,
I
I
can't
know
remember
what
her
you're
name,
talking about.
but it's
Yeah,
the same thing. She's just incredibly short but stacked, and
yeah,
they're just hard to judge.
yeah.
They're so hard to judge, but you typically see them place like this where they get like a second or a third because they're just so impressive to look at.
Mm-hmm. And there's Adele again.
It's going to be interesting this weekend because they're competing against each other now in Amsterdam.
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
So,
Adele and
it'll be
Christina, or
Christina
who?
and Denise.
Christina Denise.
And
Why
I
did I
think
go that way?
Adele,
It's because Adela was on the
well, I
screen.
think Adele is still going to be there too. I think she's
I
been,
think
Yes.
but
so.
yeah, it's a lot of the same people.
Oh, bless her heart.
No.
Yulia finally won something. She's always so close.
Oops, there
I
you go.
still love Yulia.
Mhm.
Sometimes
Um,
it pays off. If like you're like coming second place, third place, I would, if you feel fine, I would always encourage these people like just keep going, just keep knocking on the door because your time is coming.
Mhm.
there she is. I was just talking about her. That's Carla. It was definitely Carla I was talking
Okay,
about.
I thought Carla was the name too, but then when I saw the pictures, because
No, she brought a different little look, so I think
she
it kind of threw me off.
does, right? Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
Because
yeah, yeah, yeah.
at
It's
first
her.
I thought it was the same person, and then when I pulled up the pictures, I was like, no, this is a totally different person. But she looks way downsized too, doesn't she?
I don't know if she's flat or what the case is, but I agree. Her arms I thought were different looking
You guys keep
than they
talking.
look right now.
To find her,
Okay, good.
because it was true.
I do agree with this placing, this lineup, at least for women's physique also. The only thing I'm disheartened about is Anna.
I
And I feel
know.
like everybody is kind of aware, but maybe they're not, that she basically said she's retiring now.
Yeah.
Um,
She
and
is
she's fairly young.
close.
She's 31. But I think she's going to redecide that. If I'm being honest, I just think some of these, it's really hard to consistently get second, third. I think even more so than getting fourth and fifth, because you are just so close to winning.
Yeah.
But I think she's right there. I don't think it's something she'd qualify in this season, if I'm being frank. But I think next year she could be.
Hmm.
I really love the way she looks, and I'm just sad that this was the show that she finally got disheartened enough that she, But Julia. I think Americans say Julia, but I think it's Yulia.
I think we say it Yulia too. Yeah.
I think Yulia is proper. She is more the quote unquote women's physique look. It's more streamlined, and just what we've seen too. They are not downsizing, but they're really emphasizing shape. And I just think her shape is more classic than Anna's. Anna's on the denser side,
Hmm.
and so is Carla.
I think Anna could get that shape with that one more year you mentioned, like just with slightly more sweeping lats and a slight bit more on the quad because
Yeah.
she's got a tiny waist, you know.
She does. It's just not as small as some of the other girls are, but I think even some of that could just be down to suit placings. Like even just looking at them all like this, Yulia wears hers up a little higher.
Hmm.
It's huge in this division. I think it's in
Yeah.
figure to kind of wear your suit up a little higher to kind of make a more X
Taper.
frame.
Smaller waist.
I don't know what
Mhm.
word I'm looking for.
Yeah. Yeah.
My
Um,
goodness.
I love Alessandra from the back though. It's a great back.
the vitro. Oops.
Fifth place, I think Alessandra.
Uh,
Oh,
okay.
fifth place.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, ironically, that's why I was like, I kind of made a little bit of a
Very
face
strong
when we
back.
when we looked at these shots. Because what the heck happened to Carla? The back shots are a little, they're all over the place. They're all over the place, ladies. Um, I hope
Okay,
it's just a screen grab. It's usually just a screen grab we get too. And I was bad at looking at videos this week. So,
how would each of you personally rank them? I think we can like go one by one. Like, and maybe Jess, you can, and then Haley, and then Simone. Like we can see like how would you personally rank them, at least from behind, since it's not as
I
clear.
agree with the front ones. The front placings as is good.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
posteriors where I'm changing them a lot.
Although I do understand for women's physique, it's more than just like the front and back shot.
It is. There's so many shots. It's like
I
20
know. I know. And
shots.
I suck because I only picked like three. Sorry. Sorry, guys.
That's okay. We're just gonna nitpick the ones we have.
Yeah.
But if we were looking at just back shots, I think Alessandra's
Yeah.
is the most
Yeah,
streamlined,
Yeah.
great
I
detail.
agree.
which is a little crazy because it's fifth placed first. But if we're looking, I think her glutes, Natalia is a good one to look at. She has the most similar glutes to Natalia, where they do that diamond insert. They love that in women's
Mhm.
physique. And hers are very on par with that. Given some of it is how they flex. If they do more of a glute flex, you see girls like Anna and girls like Carla, they have that shape to their glutes.
Yeah.
It depends on the person, because I played around with it too, and it either squares your glutes off or you can just flex your hamstring and get more of a hamstring. But you do have to be conditioned enough to then still have good glute shape to do that.
Okay.
Do you think with the direction that women's physique is going, it's more towards what the old school women bodybuilders look like? Because I think that because that's what I define women's physique to be. So I think like just you could like look up Vicky Gates. I think that's her name. She's like an old school bodybuilder. I hope I got the name right. She reminds me of current day women's physique. Yeah, Vicky Gates.
Yeah, they are. They 100% are, which I'm not even going to sit here and pretend like I'm not happy about, because it caters to people like me that are maybe a little smaller framed.
Yeah, and it's the shape. I think if we want to really try to break down like how Big Evolution they tried to rank women's physique, maybe shape first and then they compare all the shots in terms of like, the proportions and everything.
The only sad part is I haven't really seen that being consistent through women's bodybuilding, at least. So if they're trying to phase out some of these larger girls in women's physique, they really haven't quite made a home for them in women's bodybuilding yet, because they're picking, at least in these overseas shows, massive girls that,
Yeah.
if we're looking at kind of femininity and stuff like that too, they aren't the most feminine either. So then it leaves these girls in that gray area, still too small for that, but then also too large for here.
We
So
don't
I'm
have,
worried that they're going to see more people retiring because of that.
if I can ask, like, how big is the jump between women's physique and women's bodybuilding? Because we don't have, I think we've got maybe like a handful of female bodybuilders here, but obviously we don't see the pros like in a pro lineup. And it's hard to tell, like, from the stream or the pictures, like, how big are these women actually?
It's a good little jump. I'm fortunate to have one pro women's bodybuilder here too, and we'll train quite often. But even in off season, those girls are getting close to 200. Even for girls who are about 5'7" to 5'5", I say is kind of average for that division, maybe a down to 5'4" or 5'3". But those girls are still 160s, 170s on stage. Whereas, women's physique on average, even just pulling Sarah's stats, she's 5'5", 5'4", and she's 150s on stage, like low 150s.
Okay, so it's
So
quite a big jump.
it's actually, yeah, it can be 10, 20 pounds. And then for like the mass monster girls, like those girls are getting on stage about 190.
Jeez.
Wow.
They're big girls. They
Yeah.
really are. And it's
I didn't realize
incredible.
I didn't realize they were talking about them like they're just a bunch of. Anyway, I didn't realize they were as tall as like 5'7". I thought they were all in like maybe the 5'4", 5'5" range too. So they're,
Girl, you would think.
yeah.
It makes me feel extra bad about myself because I'm not only shorter and smaller. They're just big girls. Like,
Yeah.
and it usually just takes time. Those girls are older as well. They're usually probably mid 30s, 40s.
Yeah.
And you see that kind of women's physique too, but Anna's 31. I think
Oh,
Yulia's a little younger, probably late mid 20s, if I had to guess. So
I thought Anna
She's
was
20 something and she looks like that. That's
yeah.
crazy.
yeah. Yeah,
Like some people
exactly.
just have the propensity to put on that muscle, but they also just carry that shape. But I think like the gist here is that I think because when we look at social media, it goes back to that whole social media talk, right? Like we think like like it's easy to win a pro card in like a year, but on average sometimes it takes like maybe even a decade. It's not actually that easy to get. We always have like, a couple of anomalies. Yeah, but at least the higher the division you go, the more time it's going to require. And of course, if you want to protect your femininity, I mean, of course, if you can speak to maybe even like Christina in women's opens, like she's been doing this for a long time.
Mhm.
And of course, back then for her there was only women's opens, but she's been doing this for quite a long time. And when you don't rush to get there, you don't push the drugs as hard. So that's
Mhm.
how you take
Yeah.
that time. Yeah.
And it's fun for social media to see the big transformations that some of these girls make in a year or two. But I think it's something we're going to see in 5 to 10 years where they're either having some more severe health complications or they're quitting, which is this is a conversation I've had with some people too, just about, I don't want to actually name any girls specifically. I thought about it, but they will retire sometimes or quit and not be completely honest and just say it is kind of XYZ reason. But I do think some of it is drugs, or if they
Yeah.
push quite a bit of it and they still don't win, you're going to see them end up quitting because
Yeah.
it's just too much to maintain long term. And if they
Mhm.
still don't win, it's kind of discouraging. So,
Like yeah, so because they've been pushed to that point that they've like maxed out a lot of tools that they just feel like okay if so sometimes it's just inbuilt. I mean I don't speak for them, but at least from what I understand, it looks almost as if like it's inbuilt to the individual that okay, so now for me to take my physique to the next level, I do have to sacrifice that part because I have to probably have to push more, which I don't know, like just I guess everyone's journey is different and your experience, if you had a bad experience or not, but it might not, probably it could have actually maybe turned out a little bit differently.
yeah, no,
Right.
it's a hard decision for some of these girls, and some of them do, I think, make a decision on a whim. And I'm not gonna lie, it's tempting to want to push stuff and see how big you could get in like a couple years, and then maybe see if you could be very competitive.
Yeah.
But I just don't think it's worth it in the long run.
I mean,
I'm just looking
it's
at her
actually
triceps. I was just looking at Christina's triceps.
I
Oh, me
know.
too.
Sorry, I wasn't trying to like
I
totally.
saw this morning, like when I
Yeah,
rolled out of bed. I
yeah.
straight up thought
same.
it was one of those accounts that like blows the girls up and they make them look bigger than what they actually are.
Oh yeah.
And then I
That's
realized it was actually from her page and it was her. And I was like, holy shit.
yeah. I'm excited to see her next week in Chicago. So I think
Have you
she's
girls seen her in person? Because I heard she's like huge.
sorry. What did you say?
Like I heard like Chris, like I mean, have you seen Christina in person? I mean, obviously I have
Yes.
not, but
Yeah.
I heard like she's
I've not
really
seen her in person either.
I
I've
saw her
seen,
um, when she started prep last year. Um, she's shorter, but yeah, she's just like this ball of muscle. Like there's no other way to like describe it.
I did posing with her last year, and just seeing her like on the other end of my screen, I'm like, holy shit, you are huge. And
Yeah.
that's just on a screen. So
Yeah.
yeah,
in person, I can't even imagine.
And she's like so like everything about her is just like so perfect. She's so beautiful.
You
She's
know,
so sweet. Like her posing is amazing. Her physique is just like a statue. Just like my girl crush.
she,
same.
I've said that for years now. It's a running thing between me and one of the local pro bodybuilder girls. Like Christina's our like girl crush.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love
Like
Christina.
100%.
how is one person just so perfect? Like
Exactly. I would almost be upset. I'm almost angry at it, but she's wonderful.
yeah. She's so sweet you can't be angry. It's just like you go girl. So
No, like she's my Miss Olympia.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
yes.
I'll put it on record now. She's my Miss Olympia.
Yeah.
She should be Miss Olympia because I find that she is your perfect athlete example of what you want a Miss Open's Miss Olympia. And I find that if you're going to be an Open Miss Olympia, you set the example for
Mhm.
every single female athlete out there, not just in
Mhm.
women's opens, but all the way down to bikini,
Mhm.
because
Yeah,
she carries that aesthetics, that work ethic, that femininity, because it is women's bodybuilding. Like
Yep.
they should have that feminine side and the aesthetics and the flow, and she embodies that.
Mhm.
She's
Mm.
pretty.
She's active in the
Yeah,
community too, so she's a good
yeah,
ambassador, which is important to the IFBB too.
and she
Never.
can pose for sure.
Yeah.
No, she's perfect.
Yeah. So
She's
there's our
perfect.
vote. We've casted our votes.
Yeah, if not, it doesn't matter. But if it was a vote system, she's people's choice for
Well,
sure.
I was gonna
Yeah,
say, well, if they
100%.
do people's choice for the men, why don't they do like people's choice for the
She would
women?
win. I'm
Yeah.
confident.
Yeah.
yeah.
Definitely, hands down.
This is a
Side shots.
beautiful little shot to compare because this makes
Maybe
a little more sense with the placings if you want to go that route. This is a really pretty one for Yulia.
Mm-hmm.
And Anna's right there with her. Like they both hit this shot perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
And then I
Haley, do
think
you
it kind
feel
of
that
exposes some conditioning errors with some of the lower placings.
I agree.
Haley, do
Yep.
you feel like Sana looks different this show compared to the previous one that we looked at?
Yes,
She
I was
kind
just kind of hoping it was just the screen grab that we.
Sorry, I
It's
was
not your fault.
that's
Yes.
just
They should
yeah.
hit it perfect every second.
Yep.
I hope that she's kind of in a mid, but she kind of looks full extent there. Like
I
that's her
tried
shot.
I tried finding one to see if there was one where she kept her stomach in a little bit more, but
Yep, that was kind of But I think it was it goes back to our conversation about fatigue from shows. I really think there's a sweet spot for women's physique and figure. Given I don't think she's done that many shows this year, but we're at least on two or three, maybe four. But I think kind of that 2 to 3 is a sweet spot.
Yeah.
Some of these older competitors, I think, can get away with it. But it could just, who knows? Peaking also could have been a little funky. Maybe she ate something different. I'm hoping there was a shot that she tightened it a little bit. But gosh, it's easy to do in that side shot to not keep the posture right and have your stomach sit out a little bit.
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But it really drastically affects the look from that shot.
Yeah.
And I do like it not being so like Reluca. I'm definitely saying it wrong. I don't like when the shots hit like that, if I'm being honest.
Okay.
I think it just takes away the whole shape aspect of the pose.
Yeah.
It also does highlight some of the conditioning stuff for her. Implants are always a fun thing to judge too. Some girls, because I know Yulia has like some modest ones, but you still see good chest split. You don't get that with like Reluca, for example. But I think most of hers is conditioning, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
But I also love that like Anna doesn't have anything, obviously, or at least that I think of. It looks beautiful in that shot. There's no eye sores on there where you're kind of drawn to the fact that maybe she has very large implants, just because that is kind of a thing sometimes in women's physique.
Mm-hmm.
And it just takes away, I think, from the flow, the structure overall. You see it more in women's bodybuilding than women's physique, though.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then I have a video of Yulia.
I figured that's what these hyperlinks were for. I was like, let me shut up for a second so you can click on
I didn't go
pictures.
through everybody, but whoops. Oh, there we go. Am I doing anything?
It's zooming.
Perfect. There we go.
They can zoom a little bit.
Look at me
I
go.
love a little superhero pose.
Yeah, I thought this was just a beautiful look for her.
This is my favorite this year for her. Like those are all very pretty. There's such minimal differences sometimes in these posing routines from women's bodybuilding to women's physique sometimes. But there's just so many options for poses also, and I love that. You can get a lot of character in these routines.
she's very charming. You can see she's very dry. Like the upper body and the lower body matches very nicely in terms of like the depth of the detail.
Mhm. And she's balanced from head to toe.
Mm-hmm.
Her glutes look insane.
I know.
I'm saying she has great conditioning. She's balanced from top to bottom. She's very symmetrical, which I think is why it's kind of hard to judge sometimes, because it's tempting to want to favor a highly muscular girl in this division. But at the end of the day, I don't think it fits the standards as well as somebody like this. It's supposed to be a more classic bodybuilding look.
Yeah,
Oh, that's so cute. A little side off.
Yeah.
I really like her midsection detail.
Mm-hmm. She's
Yeah.
tight.
Very good. Yeah.
She's tight. Everything looks and flows into each other. There's not one body part on her that you think is oversized or undersized for
This
her
is what
total
I was
look.
just going to find out. Like, her glutes are dense. You can see it, but it's not massive in your face,
Mm-hmm.
which is what I find that like it's important for it. And I don't know, like with where what they want for figure in general, because I can see like glutes is a really big thing for figure right now. But it just my personal opinion, like the shape of your glutes and the size of it has to match the person's hips.
Mhm.
Like sometimes when it's too big, it if you can see it from the front, it's slightly too big from the back.
I agree. It really depends on like the size of your waist too. Because I'd
Yeah,
like to see them insert into the erectors a little bit, but there's such a fine line in it to where it becomes too much. I don't know if that makes sense what I just said, but
yeah, I know, I hear you.
once they get a certain level of leanness, Natalia's very good at it because she has such a small waist that you almost just see where they kind of insert into their erectors and it kind of seamlessly flows. Shots like this are very good for it. The little where they do the little squat downs.
Mm-hmm.
If you have good conditioning, it they're always really good shots for them. And
So she
unfortunately, I
doesn't
just don't
even have
think.
to flex and try for them to just.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, even just standing there, she's just like, here's my glutes.
yeah, she looks incredible. And I just wish Anna would stick around a little longer.
I
I think
know.
next year we could do it.
But like it's like I mentioned in the group chat, I really do respect kind of that mindset. I was so surprised that when I first read her post, I thought she was just like wrapping it up for the season. So when you like mentioned it again, I went back and reread and I was like, oh shit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Kind of caught me off guard. But I really kind of respect just being able to, all right, well, that's
Yeah,
it.
and I get it. I don't know what that feels like to lose at that level. And to me, I don't think she's losing. I think she's had
Yeah.
a phenomenal season.
Hmm.
But I don't and you don't know what that feels like until you actually experience placing
Yeah.
second or third so many times. And I'm sure it sucks.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
I don't know what they're telling her judge wise for feedback, but it's probably just kind of like well, you could do this, and it's not really any concrete things that she can work on. So it probably feels kind of like a dead end street. And so I'm hoping it's just we're down in the dumps right now. We're gonna reevaluate.
Yeah.
Her shape is so good though. Like it's really
She will be.
classic.
She's still so
Yeah,
pretty,
Mhm.
yeah, it's lovely.
and she's pretty to watch. I understand though,
Yeah.
and maybe in a couple of years she'll come back and do like what's her name? Is it Candace? What was the girl who went to wellness that we talked about for women's physique? Mm, she's a black girl.
Yeah, I'm trying to
Oh,
recall her name.
are you talking about Shanique?
Shanique,
Girl,
yeah.
girl, Shanique.
I've been up since 6 a.m. I have no neurons left, okay? I could see her in my brain.
I
I
thought you were
love
talking about like Candace Owens or something. So I was like, okay.
no, but there was another girl that they all have the tiniest little waist. I think they
Yeah.
look fantastic.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
same thing. Maybe they quit for a while and they come back and
Yeah.
evaluate because I do think Anna has a lot of love for the sport.
Yeah,
It's just it sucks. It's a shot in the heart if she's really like I don't know what she's done to get to where she has, but she's made incredible improvements in the last year or two
yeah,
that I know she's doing some stuff in
Hmm.
all areas. She's going crazy probably. And if you lose at that point, that's a hard pill to swallow.
yeah. Speaking of crossing divisions, I just wanted to know your thoughts because I think I saw Ian Valiant and Fuad discuss this type of like months and years back on their pod. When it comes to crossing divisions, let's say you're going from like a division to another division. Do you think even if the person is a pro, they should be winning their pro card in another division before you cross over? Or what are your thoughts?
I'm going with no.
Okay.
The only reason I'm hesitating now is because we do give out pro cards for the fit model.
Oh,
And that's where I'm starting to be like, well, I actually don't think if you got a pro card there, you should be able to cross divisions.
I think they can. Fit model doesn't allow cross.
oh, you know what? I think you're right. I think I
Okay,
saw
good.
the crossovers. Yeah.
Good.
I- I was going to ask Simone what she thought of the whole fit model thing, and then when I saw her face just turn away,
We won't ask you.
To be actually, it's funny because I've had a lot of conversations about that this week, and to be honest with you, like I am able to like try to see both sides of the coin, and some of my downfalls is trying to view things like from that business perspective that the NPC is also viewing it as. So when I look at it as like a business, part of me is like I can't even fault what they're doing. It's like they're a
Especially from that
business,
angle.
they need to make money. Like, so I just honestly am just like try to remain Switzerland. Like, all right, you guys keep doing, what you got to do, and I'll
And
just
I'm
Eventually,
just
it
gonna
should
put this
benefit us.
I'm just gonna put this on air. I mean, I don't want to sound disrespectful, but I think I'm just going to just say it as it is
Ooh,
because
I'm excited. What are you going to say?
because I know I saw someone post before and I said, like they said, this is not the fit model. It's not a look that you can just roll out of bed looking like. But I am sorry, when I was running doing sports when I was 16, I did roll out of bed looking like that.
I would say I did kind of look like that when I was 17. Respectfully, and I will put my money where my mouth is. I have me hitting that cute little front pose that they
Yeah.
do. I definitely could have done that at like 18.
yeah.
Well, I do know they have this division so that girls who don't want to touch drugs could do it. But then
Yeah,
that's where I'm a little
no beef
bit
with that.
confused, because then what's the difference between natural fit model, natural bikini, and
Yeah.
fit model?
Yeah.
Like what Jess said, it's great because it brings more people to the sport.
Yeah.
And obviously, the aim is to grow bodybuilding, but it is also bodybuilding.
Mhm.
The way the NPC's done it, I wish they would sort of do a little bit more with it, because if you compare like the NPC fit model to like your, let's say your Elite Pro fit models, they've gone for the NPC for like a really, really soft, sort of like pretty much untrained look.
Mhm.
Um, Whereas like your Elite Pro fit models, they've got a little something to them. But those goals, they do cross over into like IFBB bikini, for example. So I suppose that's where the look is different. But maybe over a bit of time, they'll sort of change the look of fit model as well and want it to be a bit more trained than sort of like rolling out of bed and putting on a non-sparkly bikini.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I
I
think
foresee
Yeah,
fit model to be something very athletic as well, like your sports model.
yeah.
Yeah.
it's very
Yep.
Sports Illustrated. I don't know if you guys
Like,
have that where you guys are from or know what I'm talking about, but
yeah,
that's the look to me is what it is.
Mhm.
I
maybe
think
it'll
one of
go that way. Yeah.
I think one of the things that like is making people so annoyed over it, and I don't disagree, is like when you look at regional level shows, like a lot of the bikini competitors kind of have that fit model look. So at the regional level, it kind of looks like, why are you adding another class for classes that we already have? But when you take it to the pro level, like I do understand maybe some of these girls not necessarily wanting to look like a pro bikini girl. Well, maybe I don't understand it because I definitely prefer the pro bikini
Hmm.
girl. It doesn't matter.
It
Like
makes pro bikini look so much better though.
I still see the delineation
Yeah.
between like a pro fit model and a pro bikini competitor,
Oh,
So I think everyone just kind of needs to remember like there's definitely levels to this. So while it might not really make sense when you go to like your local show and watch everybody, you might look like it's kind of repetitive. Like there's definitely a clear difference
oh yeah.
when you
I don't know
take
what the suit standards are too, but they make them wear like a pretty basic suit too. I
Yeah.
don't know if that's just been a
yeah.
choice, but that's
No,
what I've
there's
No,
noticed.
no, no. It's the criteria.
yeah, they
Yeah.
need to cover
Yeah.
so much booty. They can't show too much booty.
It's kind of what bikini started as like 10
Yeah.
years ago. It
And I
reminds me
think
of the
that was
look
their goal.
from that time.
I
And if
think that
that's the goal, nailed
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Because that was exactly what my suit looked like when I did it when I was
Same.
17. It like had like five bedazzles on it, and then like it was some obnoxious bright green, blue, Tiffany blue color.
Mm-hmm.
that just looks very like swimsuit model kind of. And we hit that front pose,
Yep. Yep.
and that's what it looked like.
Yep.
And it's cute. It's just, yeah. I'm probably going to go to the gym while they're up there.
Yeah.
See it finals.
Yeah.
Well, I like the idea of it all being like, just to get people to be more included in the sport, but at the same time, being
Yeah.
bodybuilding shows, it's a look, whether it's bikini, figure, women's physique, men's physique, it's not meant to be an attainable look at the same time at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah.
what bodybuilding kind of like is. The sport itself, there is depending. I mean, of course, regardless of what division you do, to me, it still encompasses some sort of freak factor.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
It's like going to the zoo and seeing a duck.
With,
You know what
yeah,
I mean? Like it's something I can see on the streets. Like why am I going to pay money to come
Yeah.
see a duck or like whatever's native to you, a squirrel perhaps or a pigeon? Like I've already seen that. I'm not paying money to see this.
I think it's
Oh, we
great
have
to
that
get
at home.
wet. I think it's a great idea to get girls like they get their feet wet into the spot.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but I don't know what the direction of fit model is going to go. As far as it could be something as a pro division is what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
You kept it as something entry level. I think that's all right.
It should be
It's
more
still
like
so.
I think it should be more like a beach bikini because fit model, they're not modeling anything. Okay, obviously other than their bodies, but if it was more a case of like a beach bikini or like PCA, they've got their toned bikini class. I think it's that. So they've got toned and trained bikini. So tone's obviously the softer look, and then trained is more like your fitness bikini, sort of NPC bikini look. Then it would make sense because then it's like beach bikini transitioning into like that bikini fitness look. Because then it's like there's a bit more to it than just like a pretty girl that can put on a bikini. So it
Mm-hmm.
at least brings like an element of some sort of training.
Yeah.
You will have the glutes, everything must be firm and things like that. It's at least then there's more of like a challenge to it, if I can put it like that.
Yeah, because I was looking at other like what Simone mentioned, other federations when they have body fitness, that kind of look. I think that is potentially where fit model could ride towards because the girls are still pretty hard. It's just a different look from bikini.
I'm
Yeah.
okay with doing different posing maybe to separate them too, but I don't know really what else to change to make
Yeah.
it still attainable for
Yeah,
people to start at, but also make it a little more challenging.
Yeah. 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 That's the thing. I don't really have any suggestions as to what to do different because it's like, well,
I didn't know the other federations had like a trained though and a
that
different like
is
bikini stuff, which is fascinating. It's
yeah,
interesting.
interesting.
It is good.
It is
Honestly,
what it
that makes
is.
sense.
Yeah. It's just kind of one of those things that we're not going to change, so we just have to learn to live with it and be nice and just they
As
do
long as
their
they don't think I'm competing in that, that's all I care about.
exactly. They're not really bothering us. We don't have to go to the regional shows and watch them anymore, so we can all get
No.
along. We can all get along. So
Yeah.
yeah. I think the good thing now is that the promoters are also doing an extra job to make sure that the amateur shows doesn't take up too much time if it runs on the same day as the pro show.
I know that's the only thing that's like the
I typically have liked the pro am shows. They do a good job. And as an amateur, those are the shows you want to compete in.
oh really? See, my experience is the opposite. I would say the pro am shows are the worst shows to compete in.
Interesting. How come?
Because at least out here, like the ones that I did, they're catered to the pros, so they want to get all the amateurs on and off the stage. Like I think I went on stage at like 8 a.m. and 10 p.m. because
Ooh,
they want to prioritize like
okay.
get the pros on mid morning, early afternoon, and then run again the finals like late afternoon, early evening. So then all the amateurs are going to do their finals after the finals for the pros are done. But that's just my single solitary experience. And then after I
Okay.
said that to someone, they were like, "Yeah, that's why we never recommend doing a pro am." I was like, "Oh well, now."
Okay. Well, in my noggin, the perks of it is they do typically have better lighting and
Mhm.
venue and like better backdrops and all that stuff because they want better pictures for the pros, if we're being honest.
Okay.
But I will say my regional was a pro am, but it only had pro bikini.
Oh.
So it really didn't
Yeah.
inconvenience us that much.
Okay.
But they did get stuck in an elevator. And I feel like I've told this story before because we're, usually backstage for shows, it's down on the same level as the stage. They didn't have a back for my area because it was in like a lounge. So it was more upstairs. You had to go up and down flights of stairs. And for bikini girls, the pro girls, they didn't want their glutes getting too pumped. So there's an elevator. So one of the girls backstage loaded them all up in there to take them downstairs and they got stuck in there. So we just continued with the amateurs, but it was funny because it actually happened when it was my time to go up. So I was doing bodybuilding and women's physique, and the girls so we went up, did the women's physique. I did my posing, came down. I was supposed to get back in line because there's only like 5 of us, anyways. But instead of getting us to go, they actually got them unstuck. So they were going to pause us, go back to the pro bikini girls, and then come back to me. It only sucked because at that point you're like, why not just finish the class? And
Yeah. Yeah.
so they do cater towards the pros more.
Which,
But-
I mean, I would appreciate if I was a pro, but
Exactly. So I'm really not mad about it. If anything, I felt bad they got stuck in an elevator.
yeah, wow.
That girl who put him in there too, she got her butt reeled.
Well, you don't expect, I mean, I would never think, I probably shouldn't do this because the elevator could fail. Like,
No. Imagine you're one of those backstage hands, like an expediter, and you're like, genius, I'll load these girls up in here, take them downstairs. The promoter's going to be so excited. And then you have to text me like, hey, by the way, we're stuck in the elevator.
just kidding. Like, that plan failed.
They were in there for like 30 minutes.
Wow.
That's
How
long.
long?
Yeah.
It was hilarious, though. I won't even say who the promoter of the show is, but he ripped her a new one.
Oh, no.
She was in trouble. I've seen her at shows, though, after that, though, so she didn't get fired.
She didn't break the elevator. That's such a okay. Things like that, I think it's so dumb to get stupid over because it's like, okay, let's put yourself in this person's shoes. Like, do you honestly think she wanted everyone to get stuck in an elevator? It's like spilling your coffee on somebody. Like, do you think I wanted to spill my coffee and waste it?
I think she cried.
Yeah. So
And she feels so bad. I'd be mortified if that happened to me, but
I was stressed.
the bikini girls, I don't think were even stressed either. Like,
they'll get here eventually.
Because at least it's not just one bikini girl that was stuck in and she missed her turn.
Yeah.
No, it was literally the entirety of the division was loaded in that elevator. It was like all 10 of them were squeezed in there, which maybe that's why it broke.
Yeah.
They're only like 115 pounds soaking wet. But if you put 5 or 10 of them in there, that's like 1,000 pounds.
Yeah.
Quickly. So it's a funny story, though.
It is. I have got to start wrapping up so I can go eat. Do we have anything else?
Speaking of shows, like since Simonne is here, where is one country or state that you girls would try competing in at least once in your life?
Oh, that's a good question.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sure. I'm stuck because I'm torn.
Okay, top 2.
My best, my best friend and I were saying after we just watched the Portugal show, we'd love to do that one.
Mhm.
I think I think that'd be cool. And then obviously the dream, definitely Olympia one day. That would be the ultimate.
USA.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. I mean, it's just ironic that it's held in the USA. I'm surprised we haven't like moved it around like the Super Bowl. And we're just like, hey, this year it's going to be in like Dubai.
Yeah.
I don't know. It seems fair considering bodybuilding's not, it is large in the United States, but also at the same time, there's so many good athletes in so many countries.
It's
Why we
worldwide.
haven't moved it.
Mhm.
I don't know. Just 2 cents.
I agree. Portugal would be cool. I think Alicante would be cool too. Spain.
Yeah, Spain, right? Because I like the production.
Yeah.
It's also a beautiful show.
Mm-hmm.
Tanya?
Uh,
I know you've done all international shows, but
no, I've done mostly only Asia. I still think
Oh.
Asia takes the cake with production. But in terms of like where I would like to experience the culture and just like a different lineup in front of me, maybe like if I have to pick like maybe Europe, Portugal or Spain, and definitely the United States. I need to make my run there.
Hmm.
Yeah, just yeah.
Question on this. I heard that the look in the States for figure versus the look in like Europe, for example, the European goals are bigger. And then say maybe they go compete in the States, they don't do as well because they're like a slightly smaller, more streamlined look.
It's a thing
Yeah.
though, yeah.
You're not wrong.
Yeah. I think not even just bigger, but like much harder too. I think they like them harder in Europe as well. Whereas over here, I think we've been seeing more frequent feedback of like, don't be too hard. And I think that same look would actually be rewarded in Europe.
In Europe. Nope, I agree. My 2 cents, yep, I would like to be in an Asian show for sure. Not picking on which one, just because production aspect. But aside from that, definitely like in a Europe show. Honestly, they all look good. At that point, I'm just all the ones internationally look so good. It's like a whole concert. The lighting's good. The backgrounds are fun. And you don't notice as much like in the United States. I know we need advertisements and stuff, and we put that on everything we can. But at these other shows internationally, they don't do the messy backdrops. And I love that
Yeah. That's a
with
good
a few
point.
sponsors. And like, I know we have to do that, but can we do that like between
I was gonna say, I think it's been
stuff?
proven that like you can still like support them, but do it in different ways.
Yeah.
Like, can we just change it while we're up there?
Like, I don't necessarily want to support these sponsors. Thank you.
Well, it's in the background of your pictures too. It's like all these nice shots, like that we just looked at. Imagine like chicken by the pound
Yeah.
being right in the back. Like, do we need that? Like a little chicken? Can we just maybe flash it off for like 5 minutes?
Yeah. I agree.
I'm not in the whole production aspect of these shows, and I'm sure it's extremely different. It's not the first time it's been brought up, but it would be nice if someday we could do that. I know the Olympia doesn't do it.
I think it's great that like we are from like different countries because if you have to travel and you're gonna bring like certain stuff, then you could check with one another regarding the regulations of the country in general. Like I don't know what it's like with South Africa. Maybe like Simonne can chip in, but I know with the US, like they can be really strict, especially with the men who often have to bring in a bit more of the PEDs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and don't even try it in Australia though. Like it's just like they are the strictest country that I know.
Oh, really?
So I don't know like how everybody.
Isn't like the WBFF huge in like Australia? Like that's kind of their
It
thing.
is big. Yeah, it's quite a big thing there.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think that's the reason why like even if let's say there are like the PEDs in Australia or even the supplements, it's always locally sourced because they are just so tight that you can't even bring food into Australia. Zero.
Wow.
Because like the country runs on agriculture, so they don't want like contamination of the biodiversity.
And I get that.
Yeah.
The US, we're just lawless, but we're also probably the youngest out of all the countries. We don't care. We're like the redheaded stepchild. Like, bring in whatever you want. We'll maybe catch you.
Yeah, I would say we're pretty
Depends on the
lucky
day.
here.
Yeah,
We're quite lucky here with things like that. Like, it's quite accessible to get pretty much everything that you want. Except, like I spoke to Jess a while ago, Keegan needed Mediform. So we thought, okay, what's it, that Mediform South? So we import it, and then Customs got hold of it. And then SAFRA, which is our regulatory board, starts probing, what is this? What is this? We give them all the information. And then we didn't know, but then they said you needed like a medical device and some, I think a medical license as well, but none of that was listed. So with imports and things like that, that's a lot harder. But in terms of like, it's Joburg. Every second guy is selling something. I know, like pretty much anywhere. It's like that guy's selling, that guy's selling. So it's quite easy. And I mean, you can get it next day, whereas sometimes, like I think in the States, you guys have to wait quite some time if you place an order for something. So we don't have that sort of issue.
Oh, well, that's good.
Oh, that's fast.
That's where you're getting it from.
Yeah.
But
that's true.
Everybody knows somebody for the most part. Once you've been in this long enough, it's I guarantee you can find a local connection that if you need something relatively
They've got
quickly, like
it.
I did it in prep, and I was like, hey, I ran out of X thing. I got something within 24 hours.
Yeah.
And it can be done, but it is a little sketchy. It's
Mhm.
probably somebody's basement guy making it
Yeah,
in
you
his
want to avoid that
bathtub.
one.
I do want to avoid that one. And honestly, at that point, it's not worth taking it.
Yeah,
Well, I
But
think we're talking about that sort of stuff. At least where I'm at, like there's none of that in Singapore. Like I put a number of my friends, like you're just getting it all over the place. A good number is just mostly getting from Thailand. It's
yeah,
mostly from Thailand. Yeah. So I know like US, it's depending on what stuff. You sometimes it's China. China is the biggest source for everybody,
it
depending on
is.
the yeah, for
At the end of
everyone.
the day, they're still sourcing from there too.
Yeah. So I'm not sure like Simonne, is it like local usually local brands or is it always import? Depending.
You don't want to touch the local brands.
Yeah, I think
They're being made in someone's bathtub.
yeah.
So
Hmm.
the ones that you want to be using, they import, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, or your local connection that has the import stuff
Yeah.
is the
So
middleman for you.
pretty much. Yeah. So I mean we know the local guys, but we also know the stories around them. So even if it's like 10 minutes down the road, we're not gonna promote it, we're not gonna use it. It's not safe.
Yeah.
So we'll
Especially for
use
the
the better
girls.
stuff. Yeah, well, that's the thing. I mean, if you're ordering a bottle of Primo, for example, you want it to be Primo. You
Yeah.
don't want something else there. So you've got to
Surprise,
be
it's
really careful
Deca
about it.
or
Surprise!
whatever
Yeah,
compound it is. Yeah.
I'm
It's
a so
wiped
strong right
out
now.
right now. Like worldwide, it's like completely out. So we'll
Mhm.
have to wait for the just I think everyone was wondering why because if I'm not wrong, like at least for Masteron and Primo, the raws come from China to
Yeah,
make Centennial, and I guess like United States like they're cracking down on that. So obviously there's
Sure.
no production of the raws right now, which is why like just Masteron Primo is just down at the moment, and until the United States gets stocked up completely ish, then I guess all of us, like me and Simo, people like us, just take second priority.
Mhm.
uh,
I mean,
I
that's
mean,
kind of how it is still here, though. Like, we're just running through people who have stock at this point. So if you can avoid taking it, find something else for the time being because you're not going to be able to take
mm,
it for that long, depending on doses, obviously.
Yeah,
But I mean, I have stuff stocked, but at that point,
for
I'm
females it's
avoiding taking
easy.
it.
Like for
Yeah,
females it's easy. It's like the guys just go through like one vial a week.
I know. And I'm very
literally.
selfish that I love that about being a female in this. It takes, you hear what these men spend on stuff, and I'm like, good God, I've never spent that in my entire life.
No.
You guys are spending thousands like every month or two.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I've never spent that much total, I think, in my entirety of doing this.
yeah,
It doesn't cost that much, which is great because we're just usually more hyper responders than men, but
yeah.
rightfully so.
I mean, bigger benefit, bigger risk at the same time.
Exactly. But there's a reason. There's lots of catch 22s to it also. It's not all rainbows and sunshine.
Like I will always recommend like girls if you can afford to send your stuff for testing, please do test. Don't guess. Just it's not expensive to send it off to Genoshape.
Hmm. They make lots of good kits. I can't remember what some of those are off the top of my noggin, but there's good test kits out there too that are specific. You have to get the specific one for the certain compound, but they also exist.
And I know if the lab is good, they will reimburse you for testing though, because sometimes, at least the vendors that I have on my side, they encourage you to do it, just so that because they want it to come from the customer. Since even if the vendor does it
Yeah.
for every batch, like it's like people just can accuse you of faking the results.
Mhm.
And there's always sometimes a bad batch too that
Yeah,
happens more than I thought it would.
yeah. Sometimes it's not the lab, but like what kind of raws they will supply at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah. But most of these guys are pretty cool. Once something like that happens, they will be upfront with you and replace it or do something for you. I think we've had a couple of those situations past year. Not with my stuff, but other people.
And sometimes it's not even like the quality of the like what the compound is. we're looking at the quality of the oil. So how do you know? I mean, this is what I know from my experience with friends as well. How do you know that the quality of the oil is something that is okay to be putting into your body? Is that if you were like to dab a bit of the oil on a piece of tissue paper and you take the syringe and you just rub it on the ink,
Mhm.
if it comes off, you shouldn't be putting that in your body. Because
I remember us talking about that.
yeah, I've had male friends who like they've loaded the thing itself and they can see the rubber plunger just dissolving in front of them.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Genius. Let me inject it.
Yeah, let's do that. That makes sense.
They men sometimes they give me a headache. I admire the enthusiasm though. They're willing to do whatever it takes.
Mm-hmm.
But, Lord, like, maybe we should use some critical thinking skills. Maybe we shouldn't eat that or put that in our bodies. Like just maybe.
All right, ladies.
Great chat.
I know. It's time to cut it.
All right.
That's okay. I'm also getting hungry.
Well, it's like it's one of those things where it's like, shit, if I don't eat in the next 20 minutes, and I'm gonna eat
Gonna
like
fall
two,
over.
It's a
yeah,
whole different Jess in like
like
20
back
minutes.
to back. Yeah. So I'm like,
She's smiling now, but she won't be smiling just now.
All of a sudden, everything you say is stupid.
oh no. Sorry, no, I don't even mean that I'll get like hangry. I just mean like then I'm gonna have to like eat one meal and immediately like eat my next meal to go train. You know what I mean?
Oh,
It doesn't.
yeah.
It's okay. I promise.
It's okay.
Sorry.
I should make a little jokey
Go
joke.
eat.
I can leave you guys here though.
I
Put
just
you
like
over
to roll
at work.
It's 10:30
No,
p.m.
same. It's nice to keep the consistency.
Yeah. I think
All right.
Simonne, is it 3 p.m. your time now? 3:30? I think I know if I'm not wrong, it's 7 hours.
Sorry.
Is it afternoon your time? Is it 3:30 your time? And if I'm not wrong, it's afternoon.
Yeah, 4:30 now in the
Yeah.
afternoon.
Yeah, 6 to 7 hours behind Singapore.
Amen. We're all just vastly different. Ours is
Yeah,
still
I
morning
know.
time.
Cool though.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
like, I'll mess this time conversion up, but it worked.
Yeah,
We do
I
make
nearly
it
messed
work
it up
somehow.
today.
Yeah.
It's perfect though.
So
All right,
great.
ladies. Simonne, thank you so much for joining us. That was fun.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for having me. Appreciate
It's
it.
so
Thank
nice
you so
meeting
much.
you.
Yes.
And you guys.
All right. Talk soon, everybody. Have a good one.
Right. Yes, everybody have a good night,
Yeah.
morning, evening.
Enjoy your day.
All the above.
Bye.
Right. Take care.
Bye.
See you. Bye-bye.
Bye.